So we're going over the design process, which is exactly what it sounds like. It's a process for how we're going to design things. We have two different ways to go over that. What's up there now is how Project Lead the Way used to show it to us. Okay? And then we have this way, which is how Project Lead the Way will show it to you if you're looking at any of their present stuff. So I'm going to start going over the first way because I think it's easier to copy and it's also easier to see how we're flowing through it rather than the arc thing that they have. I'm sort of going to ignore the non-blue rectangles on this part of it, and then I'll talk about some of that stuff when I'm talking about the other version. But I start by defining the problem. Right? That can be as simple as I don't like the way this works, or this could be better. Okay, those would both be defining problems, or that I'm stuck in traffic and I don't want to be stuck in traffic, and how can I solve this problem? Right? So all those things could be problems. Then I generate concepts. So I'm coming up with ideas of what we can do about this problem. Then we develop a solution. Right? So developing the solution is working through specifics of what you want to do. You've narrowed down the concepts and now you're working on a solution. Then you construct and test a prototype. Prototype is a full working version. And so you have the thing that you're using and you're constructing and you're testing that out. Then you evaluate the solution, right? And then you present the solution. You may realize when you're presenting the solution can be to people probably either above you, right, or people who have some say that you don't have a response to. So like the government, your consumers, stuff like that. So you evaluate the solution, you determine the solution is perfect, right? But your boss thinks your solution doesn't work, then you need to start over because he's the one who's in charge of whether it works or not. So even though you think it's a brilliant idea, your boss says, no, we're not doing that. All right. Then you need to go back to some other point in this process. And that's why there's all those black arrows that point back to different things, because you can jump back in. Right. So if we look at this in the other example, in the new way of going over it, we still have those same things. They got rid of the prototype under construct and test, but we start by defining a problem, and it gives me some information under there. So like, is it worth solving? All right. So that can be, as a company, are we going to make money on it? As an individual, is it worth the time and effort it's going to take? But I'm deciding, all right, am I moving forward with this? Right? Then you decide you are, so you go to generate concepts. Right? Some of this stuff we'll go over in more detail as we go along. Oh, I didn't hit the criteria and constraints. Criteria are things that I want to hit. Constraints are things that restrict me. All right. Again, we'll go over those more as we move forward. But that's what those are limiting me in some way, either my choice or outside choices. Generating concepts. Right. I'm brainstorming. I'm coming up with ideas. We'll talk more about how we brainstorm as we go through. But I'm generating a bunch of ideas to work through. Then I'm narrowing those ideas and starting on developing the solution. So most times you're probably developing one solution. You might have a couple times where you try a couple things, but you've probably come up with way more ideas than you ever start to develop. Once I've done that, I've gone through the development process, I construct and test. So I'm working through to see if it works. We get it. We're comfortable with where it is in the construct and test phase, and then we evaluate the solution. So does it meet our requirements? Does it solve the problem? Does it meet my criteria and my constraints? Does it fill all that stuff in? Okay. And then we present the solution, okay, and see, is this what we want to take forward? At any point along here, if I run into an issue, I might jump back into something else. So I present the solution and they don't like it, I have to go back and do something else. I might just be able to take some of my other concepts and develop those. Same if my prototype isn't working under construct and test. I might want to redo this for fixing the prototype. I might want to go back and look at the development phase or I might want to go back and just start on a whole new concept, depending on where we are, what the issues are, all that sort of thing. But you're going to, as you're going through this, you might come to things where you need to go back through it again. Right? But that is our engineering design process.